I got an update for you on Regaronis. Yeah, the Dems are pissed. They want a seat at the table. Gold touches all-time highs. Why? Well, the government shutdown, the lack of regs, Jerome overcooking the economy. We'll also talk about why Brad's been quiet, and we know why. What a lucky guy. We'll talk XRP price as a bunch of players out there, over 40 of them, get in on this one crypto.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Brad's been busy, and we know why, but it's for a good reason, so don't freak out. And how y'all doing today, crypto fans? We've rebounded a little bit. The altcoin season index is, it's okay at 66 out of 100. The Dems want a seat at the table, which may postpone regs even longer, because the Republicans are like, yo, I don't think so, girlfriend. Now, before we get into the news, like the big group of players getting into this one crypto, who isn't? Well, you know the deal. Your comments come first. You, the viewer, matter most. Gringo Bandito says, please know I subbed and follow you because of XLM. Please keep the XLM content going. Hey, I bring you news, good, bad, happy, or sad, even if it doesn't bring you juicy price action. Joth Cassie says, this video is awesome. Love the way you shared the news and facts to back up what you're saying. Hopium does us no good. But what about $10,000 XRP by Friday? All these players claim to know how we're going to get there yet. Yeah, it's a pipe dream. I'm not a Hopium fan either. Andy Lovell says, I like the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. Glad to see the Mr. Garrison alert. Yes, that's right. I guess people want me to be upset when the news is good and happy when the news is bad. I don't know, people. Come on. Eric Nielsen, last one for you, says, honestly, to tell you the truth, I hope they shut down, talking about the United States government, so I can grab some more XRP. My wallet is loaded with that green, so is the bong. Choo-choo bitches love it. By the way, if the government shutdown happens, expect crypto to tank. Expect crypto to tank the longer we wait until a government resolution, because if we're sitting here the night before and we don't have any sort of deal between the two of them, risk assets are going to tank. But gold is going to soar. Speaking of, gold reaches a record high of 3,800 per ounce. That's right, new record, marking another milestone for the precious metal amid continued economic uncertainties and investor demand for safe haven assets. That's right, players are going safe now because of the government's risks. The surge extends gold's remarkable rally in 2025, with the metal posting multiple record highs throughout the year after breaking the 3,000 barrier earlier. Now the gains are 40% year to date. When gold is moving 40% year to date, you got to take notice. Gold is a slow mover. Like, a bad day for gold is to lose like 2 or 3%. So for gold to be up 40% in 1 year, that means people like Jerome Powell, they really fucked up the economy. Recent price increases have been fueled by the U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate cuts and a weakening dollar, driving investors toward traditional safe assets during global instability. Central banks have been accumulating gold at record levels as well, with China among the nation's building positions. So, strategic reserve, gold strategic reserve. Oh, what about that XRP Rex Osprey ETF? Here, that's its chart up on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Senate market structure squabbles, CFTC chair up for grabs. That's right. We don't have a CFTC head. And the guy who was supposed to take it, well, players within the crypto industry said, yo, he's a punk bitch. We don't want him here. Specifically, the Winklevoss twins. No, I don't think they called him a punk bitch, but I think they did something equivalent to that in their political way. The fate of the United States Senate market structure legislation come down whether or not the parties can play nice with each other. That ain't gonna happen. The White House appears to be reconsidering its nominee for crypto oversight. That's CFTC. Why? Most of the cryptos out there are not going to fall as securities, which means what? They won't go to the SEC, they'll go to the CFTC. So this is why it's so important that we get the right CFTC person. As the Senate Banking Committee's Republican leadership continues to tinker with the language of its digital asset market structure bill, the Responsible Financial Innovation Act of 2025, the RFIA. Yeah, don't look for it to be called the Clarity Act. The Senate Dems are asking for a greater say in how this process shakes out, but the GOP doesn't seem interested in their input. On September 19th, a dozen Senate Democrats, especially some pro-crypto ones, said, yo, we want to agree to a bipartisan authorship process. This is norm for legislation on the scale. Given our shared interest in moving forward quickly on this issue, we hope they will agree to reasonable requests to allow for true collaboration. That's what's holding us back right now. The Dems want a seat at the table, and there's enough Dems out there that can block this bill. Yeah, you need 60 votes from this in the Senate to make it happen, which means you're going to need about 7 Democrats and all the Republicans to vote yes in order to pass it. So, yes, you will need Democratic support. Politico quoted some Democratic aides saying that the senators are hoping for a greater say-in-crafting market structure, providing input on GOP-written product. The Dems also hope to be looped in on technical assistance offered by regulatory agencies. So we got more delays in the bill. We're looking to get a new CFTC head because Brian Quintinez is not someone that they like. And, well, Regs, everyone, probably not October. Looks more like November. Scaramucci backs Avalanche with over a $500 million treasury. AVAX jumps. Wall Street veteran and founder Skybridge Capital. We always see him talk about ETFs as well. Anthony Scaramucci is joining the advisory board of AVAX One, the NASDAQ-listed firm formerly known as AgriForce Growing Systems. They are an Avalanche treasury company. The company plans to raise a $500 million to build a digital asset treasury focused on Avalanche. Why, though? Scaramucci is doubling down on Avalanche. They said that Avalanche is the Swiss Army knife of layer ones. Lots of corporate CTOs are picking up Avalanche as part of their strategy to tokenize their funds or potentially their stocks. This is from Scaramucci. So now you got big players out there getting into Avalanche. How does Avalanche look? Well, volume is up 88% last 24 hours to $2.6 billion. That's a nice healthy number. There's a little bit of a bumperoni from the news. Nothing too crazy. In fact, if you go to the one-day chart, up 10%. I mean, is that melting faces? Is that crazy? Is it lowercase p, uppercase p? I don't know either way. Avalanche getting some players by their strategic reserve. So now Avalanche is starting to move. Go to the one-year chart and you're like, okay, you had the big pump with the November election action. After that time, they sold off, and now it's starting to turn around. So why has Brad been quiet this whole time? Because Brad got married. Seriously, he was quiet for weeks and everyone was freaking out like, dude, what's going on with Brad? No, he's probably getting ready for his wedding, hanging out with his wife right there. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple Labs, has shared a major personal milestone with the community, saying, yo, I'm married. Here's a tweet right here. He says, I feel so lucky for many reasons, and marrying Tara this weekend takes the cake. The next chapter of my life is so much sweeter with you. Ooh, 2 food references there, cake and sweets. You think someone's a little stressed out and uses food as a coping mechanism? Way to go, Brad, but make sure you hit that treadmill afterwards so you don't put on the weight. I know, you look good before the wedding, but you got to make sure you look good after. That way, she still wants to ride the hot pony. So Brad's got a good reason for being gone. The crypto market as a whole is doing okay. Volume down to $168 billion. Fear and greed's at 40, so we got room to go up. XRP starting to come back from the lows. The lows of sub 280. We're starting to build our way back up onto that $3 mark. Remember, we got another CPI data coming up, another FOMC coming up in October, and we're going to talk more about regs. But we won't talk about regs in the government until what, everyone? Until the funding is figured out. That drop dead date is October 1st. So XRP looking pretty good right now, kind of rebounding from it. What do you notice? We're right around that $3 mark. We're within 5-7% of $3 like all the time. XRP, look at that floor. That is healthy. You see that? Compare that to Avalanche's pump with the November action, then it totally dropped off. XRP really didn't drop off. In fact, it's building up another step from this point on here. You can compare that to other cryptos out there that have had the same movement where they sell off and come back. Even look at Solana. Go to the 1 year, right? Pumperoni, dumperoni, now Solana's coming back. They don't have the floor like XRP does. And as soon as we figure out what's happening with the CFTC chair, what's happening with regs, I have a feeling that XRP is going to be going up another step. Now, how big will that step be? Well, it depends. Did Jerome really screw up the economy? The gold market's telling us out there that, yeah, he did, with gold being at all-time highs. Players are buying Avalanche because it's the Swiss Army knife of layer ones. Well, what does that make XRPL? Ripple's CEO is newly married. Sorry, ladies, Brad's taken. XRP price is doing its thing, and well, the crypto market is waiting for more guidance. So what do you think? Gold's going to breach 4,000 here in the next couple of weeks? Well, it's a really good possibility if the government keeps screwing things up. We knew that there was a budget debt ceiling thing looming on the horizon, yet they wait till the last minute to do it. Crypto regs, because of that, now get pushed out even further because those idiots on both sides of the aisle are trying to figure out a problem that they keep kicking the can down the road on. So they're really not going to figure it out. They're just going to put a Band-Aid on it with a little bit of patchwork bullshit. That volatility is going to let gold roar. Cryptos, they're going to chill out a little bit until we get more guidance. We need that guidance because we don't have a head of a CFTC, and, well, that's who's going to regulate most of crypto. So the crypto bros and gals out there want a pro-crypto CFTC guy better than Brian Quintenas. He obviously didn't cut the mustard. Now, XRP is healthy. Like I said, we're going to get back to that $3 support level. I'm not worried about that. Brad's not worried either because he's smiling because he's newly married. So congratulations to Brad. I don't know, though. If the government can't get this budget stuff done, you better have that dry powder ready, baby. Why? Because things could be on sale even more. Yeah. You can thank the United States government. Players like Gary Gensler gave us low prices. The current administration's given us lower prices. And, well, everyone, we might get even more if the government shuts down. Which, by the way, even the Republicans are saying it's a possibility that it's going to happen. A good possibility. So, risk assets will kind of take a back seat for a little bit. Safe haven play a roar. You know the deal. Yeah, watch out because it's pumps and dumps in crypto, baby. Choo-choo what? Look at the sign behind me. Read it for yourself. Oh, you can't see it? Now you can. Put your glasses on, homie. Choo-choo what? It's choo-choo bitches. I'm just going to send my wife here a naughty snap. Something about, like, dressing up and naughty stuff. I can't tell you the rest of it because it's a little private, so let me just put it on my Snapchat. See, I got my Snapchat screen on right there. You can see me. I'm on the Snapchat screen. I'll send it to her and see what she says. So, Brad's got a smile on his face. Maybe I'll have a smile on my face later. If I do, we know who to blame. If I don't, we know who to blame as well. Choo-choo bitches. Again, because it's like the outro.